Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. Today's video is all about my race day preparation. So I'm going to be taking you through everything I do in the 72 hours leading up to that all important starting gun, starting whistle of that important race. So let's get into the video. I hope you enjoy. So guys, this video is going to be all about the 72 hours pre-race. So I'm going to be taking you through a timeline of a race at Sunday 10 AM. So starting from the Thursday, and then I should be taking you through what I do in those 3 days leading up to the race. So this is going to include lots of things like stretching, nutrition, any running that I'm doing pre-race. So hopefully it's going to be super informative for you. It's definitely something that I've looked up on YouTube in the past, and there hasn't really been anything surrounding 72 hours. There's been 24-hour ones, but I feel like everyone kind of does the same in the 24 hours leading up to a race. So I thought a 72-hour video would be super informative and hopefully help some of you out. So let's get into this. So on the Thursday, this is going to be the first day that I start to carb load. So for any of you that don't know what this means, it's starting to increase the amount of carbs in your diet just to fill those glycogen stores in your muscles and your liver ready, so that you've got them all stored up ready to use on that race day. So this doesn't mean that I'm going to start eating loads and loads of food. All this means is that I'm increasing the proportion of carbs in my meal. So say for example, I'd normally eat 100 grams for a meal, and normally 50 grams of it is carbs. I'm now going to start having 60, 70, 80 grams of carbs in my meal. So just increasing the proportion of carbs leading up to the race. So the next thing, guys, that I like to do on my Thursday is get my last proper workout in. So this isn't normally like a session, so a really high intense workout. This is something like a tempo. So ideally I do this tempo in the morning. So I typically do anything from 5k to 8k, 3 to 5 miles at a tempo pace. So I just feel that this gets me ready, so it gets the legs used to that turnover. But also I'm not emptying the stores. I'm not completely draining my body of all the energy. So because basically anything that I do on this day, I've got to recover from. So I'm doing a nice workout that I'm still getting a good effort in from. But I'm then not having to recover from a really draining long interval session, long hill session, anything like that. So this is a session that is going to get me working, but it's not going to cause me long-term fatigue. So yeah, I like to do this in the morning just because it gives me that extra rest of the day, that extra 12 hours of recovery, which I think is super key. So yeah, I typically do a 5 to 8k tempo on the Thursday morning before a race. So the next thing that I like to do on my Thursdays, guys, this is typically after my tempo, so after the run that I've done Thursday morning, is get a sports massage. So a sports massage is one of those things that really helps to get me ready for race day. It's getting those big knots out of my legs, just getting the legs nice and finely tuned, ready for that all important PB attempt race day. So I like to get this done Thursday afternoon, primarily because it gives me that extra time to recover, because sometimes a sports massage, you do need some time to recover from it. You need to get the fluids back into the body, rehydrate, and also your body needs to recover from the slight bit of damage that has been caused from the massage, like breaking up the muscle fibers and stuff, which can be left a little bit tender. But this just helps to repair them, recover them, and get me super prepared for race day. So I love to have a sports massage as part of my pre-race routine. So my friend from uni, Harry, typically is the one who gives me the massage, but I find this just gets me in tip-top shape, and then it just gets rid of all of those big fat knots that are going to potentially cause me any problems on race day. So yeah, sports massage is definitely on my list of pre-race routine. So after my sports massage, guys, this is when I really need to start focusing on my hydration. So in the afternoon, after the sports massage, I'll be drinking lots of water. I drink lots of water anyway, it's always a good thing to do, but especially after my sports massage. So basically your lymphatic system, which is your body's way of getting a lot of the waste products out of your body, this is what the sports massage is going to help. It's going to flush out all of those waste products from the legs, but this typically goes out with a lot of water, so you have to replenish that water. So I try to drink a lot more water post sports massage, but this is also something that I like to include with an electrolyte drink. So every day before the race, from the Thursday, so Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I'll have an electrolyte drink every single day. Just one, don't need to overdo it, you don't need to be completely filling your body up with electrolytes. One is going to be absolutely plenty, just because your body is going to get rid of any excess that it can't absorb anyway. So there's no point overdoing it, because you're just going to be wasting your own money. So yeah, I like to have one electrolyte drink every single day, and this just helps to just make sure that I'm in tip-top hydration. All of the muscles are full of nice liquids, electrolytes, sugars, salts, all of that stuff that's going to prevent me from getting cramps, getting tired, getting muscle soreness during the race. So leading on to Thursday night, and I feel like this is a really obvious one, but it's something that you definitely have to hit home with, is you need to be getting good night's sleep. So sleep's important all of the time, but I think not really the night before a race, but the 2 days prior to that is when the sleep really matters. You want to be making sure you're getting at least 8 to 10 hours of sleep, good quality sleep, undisturbed, because this is where all of your repair, all of your recovery is going to be taking place. And if you haven't slept well, you're going to feel it on race day, I guarantee it. I don't think I've ever heard anyone say, oh, I haven't slept great for the last 3 days, but I ran amazing. It just doesn't happen. You need to be getting that sleep in. And I typically try and get extra sleep the Thursday night, the Friday night, because then Saturday night, it matters, but it matters less because I've already done a lot of the preparation already in the previous night's sleep. So moving on to Friday, what I like to do Friday morning is get up nice and early after my long sleep and get in some recovery miles. So this is typically really slow. We're talking, if your race pace is 5-minute miles, I'm talking well over 7-minute miles, I'm talking 7:30, 8-minute miles, really nice and slow. So this is so that we're not causing any extra damage to the body, but we're also getting that blood flowing, which gets rid of more of that, rid of more of the waste products. So that's gonna be super key to getting your legs in tip-top condition. After every single run, I would advise you stretch anyway, but these stretching periods need to be tip-top. You need to be making sure that you're stretching properly, just to get those muscles nice and lengthened and prepared for the running, because you need to stretch to get ready for that high intensity running on race day. Friday is kind of a bit of like a self-love day, if you get what I mean. So this is a day where you really need to take care of yourself. So I like to have an ice bath on the Friday. So again, this is, if you don't know what an ice bath really helps with, so basically if you think of your blood vessels, so when you get into the ice bath, your blood vessels go really small, and then when you get into like a warm bath or a warm shower after, they go really wide, so they vasodilate. And this just really helps to flush everything through. So that's why you see all of the tip-top athletes, the elite athletes, they'll all be having ice baths within the few days before their race, if not the day before their race, just because it helps just get rid of all of those waste products and flush everything through. Almost give like the muscles like a big reset. So that's something that I like to do on a Friday. It doesn't have to be ice if you haven't got access to ice. But what I typically like to do is just go via the closest supermarket, get a bag of ice for £1, chuck that in the bath with cold water, and that's going to be cold enough, trust me. But if you can't get any ice, just a nice cold bath and then go straight to hot afterwards, but try and stay in there for 10 to 12 minutes for kind of your peak length in the ice bath. But yeah, this is something I like to do on the Friday before my Sunday race. Another thing that I like to do on the Friday is really get a good deep rolling session in. So using the muscle roller, using the muscle gun, both are fine. I'd probably pick the roller over the gun, just personal preference, but they're designed to do the exact same thing. So breaking up those muscle fibers, helping you with that recovery. So it's just, again, really reinforcing that state of recovery. So I like to do like quite a deep one on the Friday. So this is giving me extra time to recover from any potential knots that I'm going to be breaking up with the muscle roller. And then I'll do a lighter one on the Saturday. So one that's not going to be too intense on the Saturday that could leave me a little bit sore. So the deep one tends to come on Friday, and then I relax a little bit more on the Saturday. And then the final thing on the Friday is, again, keeping up with your nutrition. So making sure you're having that high carb meal. Don't forget about your meat, your protein, your veg, your fruit. Don't forget about those things, but obviously the carbohydrates are going to be the focus, especially if you're doing like a long distance event, kind of 10k plus, 10k ultra marathon. You're going to really want to be making sure that you're keeping the electrolytes in and the carbs in. They're going to be your main focus on the Friday. So moving on to the Saturday. So this is where it's kind of make or break at this point, 24 hours before the race. So what I like to do on the Saturday is do a park run. So if I've got a race on a Sunday, I still do park run. It just means you've got to take it a little bit slower. So for me personally, my park run PB I think is about 16 minutes. So I like to do park run on the Saturday, about 22, 23 minutes. Nothing spectacular, nothing super quick, nice and comfortable. If you were running with someone, you should be able to have a conversation, but it's quick enough that I'm still going, oh, okay, feeling this little slight pickup in pace compared to the slower recovery miles that I've done the previous day. So this just, I find, gets me ready for race day, because sometimes you get to race day and I feel kind of over recovered, like I feel too lethargic, like I feel like I've just been sat down for ages. So I like to just do a slightly quicker run with some strides at the end of it. So these are these short 50 meter, 100 meter lengths of kind of, not sprinting, but you're just getting your strides as long as possible, getting a decent turnover. So kind of function at about 60-70%, I'd say, for a sprint effort. But yeah, so I like to do this on the Saturday morning, just to give me that extra 24 hours recovery before. The next thing on this Saturday, so once I've got home from parkrun, once I've stretched, I'll get into an Epsom salt bath. So this is just going to be a warm bath and something to relax. But the Epsom salts, they absorb through your skin and go into the muscles. It's a bit like an electrolyte drink, but it's just another way of doing it. Say some people's bodies don't absorb the electrolytes as well as others, so I like to have both, just attack it from both sides, really make sure that I'm chock full of the salts and the electrolytes. So yeah, a nice Epsom salt bath. Epsom salts are pretty cheap as far as I'm aware, so these shouldn't be too expensive. Probably cheaper than electrolytes, to be fair. So yeah, I like to have an Epsom salt bath the day before my race. The next thing I like to do, guys, so this is going to be typically in the afternoon, but I like to put on some calf guards. I don't know what it is, it might be like a pre-race superstition, but I like to have my calf guards on, and I always find that I feel better the next day. So calf guards, what they do is they compress the muscles. So this is all about your blood flow. So it makes the blood vessels smaller, which is making the blood flow quicker, which is ultimately helping flush out those waste products. At this point, I'm hoping there's no waste products left in my muscles, because I haven't really overly worked them. I've done plenty of recovery up to this point, but it's just kind of doubly making sure you don't want to leave anything to chance. So yeah, whack the calf guards on. One thing I would say is definitely do not sleep in them, because I was watching an interview for the London Marathon, and I think it was Phil Sessman or something like that, but basically they'd slept in their calf guards and they'd rolled over, which had caused a lack of blood flow, like compressed the blood vessel, and then they got gout in their feet. So I would not advise sleeping in them. I have done that in the past, but ever since I heard about that story, I've stopped and I'm not doing that anymore. It might be Mark's, I can't remember who it was. But yeah, so don't sleep in them, but calf guards definitely something that I try and wear the day before my race. The next thing, guys, on Saturday night, so I've got a bit of a superstition with the night before race. I have spaghetti and meatballs, so this is going to be something really high carb, but delicious as well. I don't go mental, don't go eating loads the night before your race, because you're just going to wake up heavy. I typically like to have this quite early, so I would normally eat dinner 7 till 8, but pre-race, I like to have my dinner kind of 5 till 6, maybe 6:30, just because then I've properly digested it by the time I go to sleep, and I'm not going to wake up with it all sat inside me. So yeah, something like that. Don't be overdoing it. You do not, it's really easy to get carried away going, I've got a race in the morning, I need to get so much energy in, but your body can only absorb so much of it, so you're just going to be weighing yourself down. And I know weight doesn't, it's not the be all or end all, or whatever the saying is, but yeah, so just don't go overfilling yourself up, because you are going to feel heavy the next day and you're going to regret it, basically, because I've done it and I definitely regretted it. Final thing on the Saturday is going to be an early night, so it's really easy to go to bed way too early and just be laying there for ages thinking about the race day. So yeah, I like to go to bed, I'd like to try and be asleep by 10, which is hard the day before a race, because obviously you're thinking about it, the anticipation, the excitement, especially if it's a super big race that you've been thinking about for a while. But I do find I'm getting better at going to sleep pre-race. So yeah, I like to get a nice early night, because the next day, so race day, I like to wake up 3 hours at least before the race. So if the race is at 10, I need to be getting up at 7. If the race is at 9, I need to be getting up at 6. So yeah, going to bed nice and early, just to make sure I've got plenty of sleep. But also, the earlier you go to bed, you're giving yourself that window to sit there and think about it for a while. So you know you're not going to go sleep straight away. So the earlier you go to bed, the more time you've got to actually fall asleep, if that makes sense. So guys, yeah, as I just said, I like to wake up at least 3 hours before the race. This is just because your body takes that period of time to wake up. So I've always found, ever since I've started getting up at least 3 hours before my race, I just race so much better, because I'm awake, I'm ready as soon as that race time eventually comes. So yeah, I wake up, first thing I do is I have breakfast. I know some people don't really like to eat as soon as they get up, but I'm definitely the sort of person that can do that. So I get up, I have the same thing, don't go eating new stuff on race day, because this is just going to unsettle you and you don't know how your body's going to react to it. So I have the same thing as I have every other day. I don't increase it, I don't decrease it, the exact same thing. 2 Weetabix, 2 tablespoons of chia seeds, a crap ton of milk because I like it milky, and then I have an electrolyte drink with it as well. So instead of just having water, I'll have my coconut electrolytes, which are my favourite. And yeah, that's all I need. An hour before the race, I'll have like another snack. So I typically have a chia charge bar, but I'm not overdoing the food because it's just gonna be sat inside you. You're gonna be so heavy. Well, not so heavy, but you're gonna feel heavier than you're used to. And you definitely don't want that on race day because it can have a negative effect. Guys, yeah, so I'll have a snack 1 hour before the race. So if the race is at 10, at 9 o'clock I'll have my chia charge bar, and then at 9:30 I have a caffeine tablet. So just 1 caffeine tablet. So these caffeine tablets can take half an hour to 45 minutes to kick in. So by having it half an hour before, I'm just making sure it doesn't need to kick in straight away because I'm going to be full of energy at the start. So 45 minutes for it to kick in. It will kick in kind of 15 minutes into the race, which is kind of when the fatigue can start to like slowly creep in. Hopefully you're not dead 15 minutes into the race because it probably means you haven't prepared properly. But yeah, so it's personal preference. I definitely experiment with those. I found that my stomach is actually pretty stable. I can generally have whatever I want pre-race and it's not going to react badly, but I'm not a coffee drinker, so I like to have a caffeine tablet just to give me that extra little boost without doping on race day. So yeah, the final thing that I like to do pre-race, guys, is just a 10-minute warm-up. So I typically do, before all of my sessions, all of my runs, I do a 2-mile warm-up. So this typically takes 15 minutes, but pre-race I actually like to do a shorter warm-up. I don't want to overdo the warm-up. So typically I only do 5 to 10 minutes aerobic warm-up. I still do drills and stuff. Drills are going to be important, getting the body used to those different positions, getting the high knees, getting the bum flicks, things like that. But yeah, I don't like to overdo the warm-up. Just 5-10 minutes, just aerobic, just get the blood pumping, because your heart rate's already going to be up high because you're anticipating the start of the race. You're all going to be excited, so you do not need to overdo it. Just about getting the muscles warm more than anything. So yeah, don't overdo the warm-up, guys, and then try and follow the rest of my tips, and I hope this will help you, because this has taken me to countless PBs this year. I've done this before every single race without fail, maybe minus the ice bath if I'm too wimpy. But yeah, guys, so I really hope that these tips help you take you to your next PB, and I really hope you can take at least maybe one of these tips into your next pre-race routine. So yeah, wish you all the best in your next races. Please like, subscribe if you enjoyed it, and please share with your running buddies. It is greatly appreciated. Trying to hit that 400 subscriber mark. So yeah, wish you all the best. I've been Cole Running. Peace.